Welcome to Freddie Runs Runners Connect podcast, where Freddie and Scott explore the world of running, fitness, and beyond. But before we dive into today's episode, a quick disclaimer. Whilst we love to share experiences and insights, we are not coaches nor nutritionists, so remember, nothing discussed here is intended as professional advice. Always consult with qualified experts for personalised guidance. Enjoy the podcast.
There we go. It does say recording.
It does.
Yeah.
Good.
So there we go. Right, welcome back everybody to episode number 5 of the Freddie Runs podcast. You're back with me, Scott, and Freddie's back again. We don't have a guest this week. It's just me and thee, Freddie. Just a bit of back and forth and a chat really about running and how your week's been and where you've been, what you've been up to. So yeah, welcome back. And before we even start on this, can we just say a quick, speedy get well soon to Steve? Because Steve was on the last podcast and he's had a bit of a trip during the week on his runs and he's posted on Strava. Steve, mate, honestly, hats off to you for posting that, because it's heart-wrenching to think that's happened, and it looks sore, mate. So really get well soon, and I hope it doesn't impact too much on the plans for the back end of the year.
No, I totally agree. You know, Steve, I'll apologise. I've not sent you a message because I didn't see it. Unfortunately, I've not been on Strava too much lately, and Scott let me know just before we went live on here tonight that you've hurt yourself, mate. So really sorry to hear that, but it looked quite a nasty one actually. So I hope that you managed to get sorted, and fingers crossed that you can get yourself back on the road before long and ready for October, because that might seem like a long way away, but I know when injuries are involved, actually that just means that October's only around the corner, isn't it? So
yeah.
mate, hope it works out for you.
So welcome back, and episode 5, Freddie. How's that happened?
I know, right? It's not bad, eh? You know, and we mentioned this last time. But the good feedback continues to come in, which is nice. I particularly like that one that I sent to you earlier in a text from Kevin Scott.
Yeah,
which is really nice. Basically saying that he feels like he's sat in the room chatting to his mates as he's listening to it, which is really just what we were after, really.
Isn't that exactly what we were aiming for?
Yeah.
It's nothing elitist. It's just two blokes talking about running and talking to runners about running. And exactly. If you can run a mile or 50 mile, you're a runner. So
yeah, exactly that. No, so it's all gone in the right way. But how's things with you anyway, mate? Because I know, it's Friday now.
Yeah.
We are getting close to you having a nice little event this weekend.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm excited, but I'm also bricking it at the same time. The support on the Runners Connect group on Strava and Strava in general has been phenomenal. The amount of people that have reached out and said good luck. And for anyone that doesn't know, where have you been? Because that's all I seem to talk about. I'm boring the pants off everybody. But I'm doing my first ever and the Manchester Marathon this Sunday. And tapering started 2 weeks ago. Did my final long run, which was not really a long run now. It was 6 miles, just 6 miles. I mean, still long run, but considering what I've been doing, it's gone really well. And another shout out actually to a guy I've met through running just at park runs. Lewis, he's a guy who comes to my local park run, and he's a member of the Connect group and stuff. And we were running last Saturday, and he said, "How's the tapering going?" I said, "I've got to do a 10k on Sunday," and he said, "Oh, I'll run with you if you want." So he met up at my house, and we went for a 10k just to break it up. And it's weird, this running thing. Everyone's just really nice and friendly, and it takes you some strange places.
So that's awesome. So I mean, did you just say Manchester?
Manchester, yeah. I was going to go down tonight and do the shakeout run. 40 Runs has got a shakeout run tomorrow at 11:30. But I've still got quite a bit to do tonight, so I'm not setting off now till tomorrow. So if Peter Mitchell, who's also in the group, and he's messaging lots of times on the videos and stuff, he's doing the 40 shakeout run as well. And I was going to meet him if I could get there, but I'm really sorry, Peter. I don't think I'm going to make it by the time I get down to Manchester and parked up and then across the town. You guys are set off, but that would have been nice. So yeah, I'm staying at a friend's house who's also running it with me. Matt, I'm going to name drop him now because we might get him on one day. But yeah,
That'd
he's
be
been
cool.
training for a few weeks, a few months with us. He lives in Manchester, and we've been giving each other moral support as well as taking the mickey out of each other.
Cool.
When it's been like long runs on a Sunday, you don't want to go.
Yeah.
You get a kick up the backside via text. So I'm running with him. Then we're staying at his on the Sunday, and if I can manage a beer, if I can walk to a fridge to grab a beer, I might have a beer with him on Sunday night.
Nice.
Booked Monday
Nice.
off work. Pre-warned work I'm going to be no good to anybody Monday. And yeah, I'll get back up the M62 to the northeast.
Right, Scott, before we carry on though
Mm-hmm.
and talk about Manchester, there is
Yeah.
something that I want to share with you quickly. Something I want to show you. And I hope that I can do this. Oh, I'm going to have to cut some of these bits out in between because this is taking me longer than I expected.
Good luck for Sunday, Scott. We know how hard you've worked for this and how much you're really looking forward to it. So enjoy every step of the way, and well done for raising so much money for a charity really close to our hearts. You've got this, and we can't wait to see you cross that finish line. Good luck. You've made us all really proud.
Good luck for Sunday, Scott. I know a lot of preparation's gone into this. So enjoy yourself and keep smiling, and we'll make sure we have a nice cold beer when you get back.
You recording? Yeah. Good luck, Scott. Enjoy Manchester. It's a nice place, got a really good football team as well. 26 miles is no mean feat. I can only dream about running so far for so long, but you've been training, so it should be not quite a walk in the park, but a run in the park. Good luck. See you soon. God bless.
Good luck for Sunday, Scott. Keep on running. We know you can do this. Very proud of you.
Oh, I know there's nothing better than a good luck message off me while I'm sat here naked, just getting out the shower. So yeah, good luck for Sunday, mate. I think you'll be fine.
Good luck, Dad. Go smash it. You'll earn your Chinese.
Hi, Uncle Scott. This is Tara. I just wanted to say good luck for Sunday. You'll be fine.
Scott, all the best, son. I wish you well, but if you beat the 331, I'm going to batter your brains in when you come home. Okay? Bye.
Hi, Scott. Just a quick one to say good luck for Sunday. I'm going to be with you every single step of the way. My legs will be twitching. I'll be excited because I wish I could do it with you. I know fine well if I was at home and I could train with you, I'd be doing it alongside you. Well, maybe you'd be a bit ahead of me, to be fair. But I couldn't be prouder. God, I'll be dead emotional. Better drop me HRT before you set off. But yeah, honestly, what an amazing achievement. And just remember, take it easy. Don't cripple your knee. If you need to walk, you can walk, but you won't. The mind is stronger than you think. So amazing. And thank you for spurring me on, because I wouldn't have ran or got back out on those pavements in the last 12 months if it wasn't for you. All right, good luck.
Good luck, Uncle Scott. We know you can do it, and we can't wait to see you on the finish line.
Good luck, Dad. You'll smash it.
Good luck, Scott.
Good luck for Sunday, Scott. Your family are all behind you, rooting you on. See you when you get home, safe and sound. Love you. Bye.
Mate, oh my
mate.
God.
There you go.
I am absolutely speechless. How you have no idea how hard it is to coordinate something in my family of that scale.
Well, it's not. It turns out it's not, because that took a simple message to your lovely wife, Nick, who got all that together within an hour.
What?
Believe it or not. Yeah. So thank you, Nick. Hopefully you appreciate that, mate. But that shows you a lot of people supporting you, a lot of people behind you, a lot of people excited for you, mate. It's going to be great.
Do they realise that this is going out and people across the world are going to see my cousin James with no shirt on, get out of the shower, talking to me? That's brilliant. That is brilliant.
That one came through, and I went straight to the wife and said, "This guy's going to be my best friend." He's just my sort of guy. I love it.
He's built like a unit, and he's full of tattoos and loves his thrash metal and that.
Nice. My kind of guy. Yeah.
The world would like James. He's very down to earth, as you can see. He's not shy either.
Yeah, amazing.
That is brilliant. That's made my night. That
good. I'm glad, mate. I'm glad we managed to get that together. So, right, back to the marathon then. So, I was hoping that doesn't add any pressure to it, because I know these are all people you know anyway. But now people are saying to you good luck and all that. Do you feeling any pressure for Sunday? Because I know it's your first marathon, and I know the time that you finish is irrelevant. It's finishing that matters for your first one, right? But are you feeling the pressure for it at the moment?
Honestly, God's honest truth, no. There's bigger problems in the world than me getting to the finish line of the marathon. If I was an elite or I was getting paid to do this, then I'd maybe take some of that in with me. I'm just amazed at the journey I've had and where I've been in the last year to this point now. Is just incredible. I can't stress enough how much this isn't the Scott of 12 months ago. So I've just loved every second of this last 12 months. And I've got I'm genuinely don't feel, I'm nervous, but nervous about what to expect. Like the longest runs I've done were 20 miles, and everyone keeps saying if you can do 20, you can do 26 on the day. And that's all good and well, but I won't know this until I get to the 21st mile, you know? And that side of me is nervous, but pressure, I would say, no, I'm just really, I want to be there. I want to be on the start line now and just get going and get cracking, you know?
Yeah. Good. It's going to be great, and I'm really excited for it. But I am interested. I know you say that you're not feeling any pressure, and that's really good. That shows you're relaxed. Shows you're comfortable, actually, that your training's gone all right. I know you had a bit of a hiccup. But I think you've built enough sort of confidence from your last couple of runs that you're comfortable, which is great to hear.
Yeah.
But you must still have, I'm assuming, you must still have some sort of target time in your mind, or maybe not even a time, but something that you want to achieve from not just getting to the finishing line, but something in between.
Well, watching that video a minute ago, I don't want to do 3:30 and beat my dad. He's going to batter me by
Imagine.
So originally, before the knee issues, I wanted to do sub 4, and I was confident I could aim for sub 4. That's hindered me a little bit, and I do get a bit of a niggle after about 10 miles. It does start to throb a little bit. So with that in mind, I'm going to slow my pace down and slow my splits down. If I can get anywhere near the 4-hour mark, I'll be ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic. If I do it in 5 hours, I'll be buzzing. I'll still be in the 1% of the population that's ever done a marathon. Yeah, so I've got A goal, B goal, I think they call it. A goal is 4 hours or as close to 4 as possible. B goal is 5 hours. Anything, well, and after that, if I finish in one piece and I'm smiling, then that's good enough for me.
I think you might surprise yourself, mate. I really do. I think if you look at your 150 that you did recently, you double that, you slow down a little bit because obviously it's further. I think you're thereabouts for the 4 hours. I really do.
It'll be tight.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think it'll be if I'm feeling comfortable and I know after halfway that I'm comfortable, then it's going to be close. It's going to be there or thereabouts. Yeah, and everyone's going to see anyway because I shared on our Runners Connect. I shared the tracking webpage and my bib number. Everyone's going to be able to see anyway if I've done it or not.
Yeah, and there was another couple of guys put their numbers up, didn't they? I think Dave Napier and Pete Mitchell. They both put the numbers. I think it was just the three of you. Is that right?
As of last night, it was. Yeah.
I think it's still the same. Yeah, so that's going to be cool. That's going to be something exciting to tune into myself, so I can see how you guys are going. Fueling.
Yes.
I know we talked about this the other week with Steve, and we talked about what Steve's plan was. How's your fueling looking? If you're obviously using stuff that you've tried and tested, is it the same sort of stuff that they provide at the event, or are you taking all of your own? Or
so this marathon, I mean, it's the first time I've done this, but I don't know if this is normal or not. But there's, as well as water stations, there's 3 gel stations, and it's SIS who are sponsoring the marathon and doing their gels. And it's just coincidence, but I've been using SIS gels anyway on my long runs. So I've bought a box anyway, and I'm taking a box with me. And I'm going to, hopefully the shorts I wear like an undershort underneath my running shorts. It's got 2 big pockets. I'm going to get 4 gels, 2 each side in there. And then if I feel like I need more, I'll grab one of the stations. But plan is once every 40 minutes, which is what I've been doing on my big 20-mile runs. It's worked fine. And I nailed it. I think it was on on here. Somebody gave us some advice on one of the chats on the Strava group about doing it before you feel like you need it. So I started doing it a little bit earlier than I had been, because I pulled up on a 13-mile run a few weeks ago and I was gutted. I just ran out of steam and the knee was hurting. And I'd been taking the gels, but I'd been taking them too late.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing, tried to change that strategy and have them about 10 minutes before I normally take them. And it seems to have worked. Last 2 long runs I did felt great. So
I've heard him say before that if you're hungry or thirsty, you're already too late.
Yes, yeah. So that's the strategy I'm doing, and the night before, I'm not going to go stupid with the carb loading, but we're having pasta, me and Matt, and I've read somewhere as well. I think it might be too late in the day to try this, but last couple of days, the spring marathon articles are coming out thick and fast. There was one about taking on extra electrolytes the day before, so now I only drink that during my run and after.
Right.
I've never really drank one during the day just because, even if I'm not working out, but I might do a bit of research tonight and see if it's worth me having a litre and a half of electrolyte mix tomorrow afternoon or evening.
Do you know, if every day, I think I mentioned this a while ago, I bought the electrolyte tablets. And every day, even like today's a rest day for me now, Friday, and every day I take 2 electrolyte tablets. It's just like a daily dose now. Like I take a couple of vitamins, I take those as well every day. And I don't know if I wouldn't say I've seen any performance increase because of it, but I've definitely there's definitely not a reason not to do it. You know, it's I think electrolytes is a big deal, right? It's you see this a lot, and I see a lot of videos talk about electrolytes, and it's probably the easiest thing you can do that will help you, apart from obviously drinking water. Gels can be hit and miss for some people. I struggle with them sometimes. Eating solid food, I struggle with that when I'm running. But at least I know electrolytes not a fuel, but I find that's one thing that I can do, and almost doesn't matter how much I do it. It doesn't give me a 6 tummy or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's not carb heavy or anything, is it?
Not at all.
No.
So yeah, I'm not going to do anything too complicated. I'm just going to stick to what I know and what I've been practicing with, which is just the gels. And I normally train. I think I spoke to you about this on our last run. I normally train in a running vest with the pockets on, like you do with your recording.
You ran in the half marathon with it on, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
And they do my head in, if I'm honest. They just feel in the way and cumbersome and stuff. And I think I was asking you and Steve on our last podcast if it's reasonable to run without it, because I don't want to run with it. So I've decided I'm going to ditch the vest. That's the only difference between my normal long runs and on Sundays. I won't have that vest on. I'll pack the gels in my shorts. My phone will go. I don't know. I might not even run with my phone. My watch does it all. So yeah, I'm just going to rely on water stations and gel stations, and it's a little bit less weight to carry, I suppose, as well.
Well, I think that's the right move, and I think a lot of people do that. Training runs, you haven't got your water stops every few miles. You kind of have to carry what you got, or do a loop and keep going back home or whatever. So I think that's the right move. And like you say, perfect that you've been training with the SIS, and that's what they're providing.
Yeah, pure fluke. But I was looking through the pamphlets that came, and it was saying it was branded SIS Sports. SIS Gels will be sponsoring the run, so it's like happy days.
Yeah. Now, just to go back a step, you talk about A goal being 4 hours, B goal being 5 hours. How do you judge that on the day? Are you running to feel? Are you running to heart rate? Are you running to pace? How do you do that?
So what I've been doing, I've changed to kilometers from miles this year, and it's a lot easier. I find it a lot easier on the notifications on the watch. It's because they're closer together, the kilometers and the notifications. I think it's easier to track your pace and So my long runs, I've been actively using the vibrations on the watch and just quickly glancing where I'm at and using that. I'm not doing anything too scientific. I'm just go kilometer by kilometer, and I know where I'm comfortable and pace wise. And then if it's dropping back, then I'll know I'm getting tired and ease up a bit. But no, I'm still learning all this stuff really, and trying to absorb as much as I can online. But at the same time, I don't want to overcomplicate things. So I'll know from my own body and my own run, and my breathing when I'm running with Matt. So if I can hold a conversation with Matt, the pace is all right. If I'm struggling,
are you actually going around together?
I've said to him we can. He's got 4 years on me. He's 4 years younger than me,
Right.
and he's always been in shape. So I've told him, look, I'm happy for you just to go, mate. If I feel like I'm holding you back, you can go for it. But he's adamant that we'll get around together, and I'm more than capable of keeping up with him. We'll see.
I'm literally just looking at the weather now to see what the weather's looking like in Manchester.
It's back and forth.
Well, at the minute it looks sunny with a bit of cloud, 12 degrees as a high, which is nice.
Oh, that's not bad, yeah, because it was supposed to be tanking it down. But then
Saturday and Monday raining. It looks, and this is saying Sunday not.
Well, having lived there for 5 years as well, I can tell you it rains quite a lot. It's not just a cliche; it's always raining.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. And you say you got a day off on Monday, or are you straight back to work? Did you say?
So yeah, day off. My colleagues have bailed me out big time. So massive thanks to them if any of them listen, because I was just going to go in and I was taking my laptop and going to work from Manchester and travel home on Monday night.
Right.
But one of my colleagues has offered to come in and work on the Monday and cover me because we're a bit thin on the ground at the minute as well. It's holiday season still, so
of course.
Yeah. So I've said you're a legend and I owe you one. So I will be feet up on Matt's sofa until I can walk to the car and then drive back.
Oh, you okay? So you're staying over the night before and the night after?
Yes, I'm going to go down tomorrow morning. I was going to do a park run, but I've got stuff to do, and I'd love to have gone tonight and done that shakeout tomorrow with Fordy and met Peter for the first time. But I'm going down tomorrow morning, and then just going to mooch around Altrincham. I've said to him we'll go out for a walk on the evening and stretch the legs and stuff.
Yeah.
Up early Sunday morning, get the tram into town, check the bags in, and then down to business.
Nice. Oh, it's going to be great, mate. Really wish you all the luck in the world for that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you very
Hope
much.
It goes well, man.
So over to you, really. How's there's a few things. So obviously, last update was the Hartlepool Park run. You got the niggle and had to pull up, but you still managed to smash 26 minutes, by the way. But is that on the back burner for now? The PB stuff? Are you gonna focus on the bigger fish, which is Enduro 24?
Yeah, that was the aim. So when I did that run, you're right. I really wanted to get sub 24:30 that day. I think I might have been in the right shape for it, but I did feel that niggle and thought, no, it's not. One park run is not worth me wrecking the rest of this year.
Yeah.
So I stopped it. I'm fine. The leg's fine. I've been running 4 times a week now on my leg, and it's absolutely fine. No problems whatsoever. I think that week off that I had, because the week before last I basically ran twice, and the rest of it were proper days off. I did nothing, and I think I needed that actually. After 90 days of running every day, I think that's what I needed, and I got that right for once. But where am I now? I'm having a really weird relationship with that 24:30, and I don't know why, because the target was always sub 25. I got that 24:38, but I'm not happy with it, and I keep trying to tell myself, you got sub 25, worry about that later.
Yeah,
and that's the plan, but I'm not happy with it, and so every day it's still playing on my mind. Even today, I've been like, I think I've got 23 kilometers to do tomorrow to my training program. I think it's 20 or 23, something like that. But in my mind, I'm like, well, I could go and do park run first, make that 5 of the kilometers, then go and do another 15 afterwards, and give it another go. But then I want to do that.
But if you're pushing it and busting a gut for that first 5K and you pull something, it's not worth the risk. It's really not worth the risk, in my opinion.
No, and you're exactly right, and I know that, and I'm aware of it, but I can't stop thinking about it, and I don't know why.
Yeah,
because it's not important to me. Apparently it is. But
it clearly is.
I didn't think it was important to me, this 24:30, because actually it's, the idea was to do 24:30 now, and then in the summer try and go 23:30 or 20 or sub 24. Which would have been sensible, if a sensible target at least, if I'd have got it on that run. But I didn't get it, and I'm a bit. annoyed with myself that I didn't get it, and I'm trying to get it out of my mind, but it won't disappear in a minute. So I don't know, but we are full system ahead now for Endure 24 training. That's kicked off. I'm in week 2 now, coming up to the end of week 2.
So are you following a specific plan? Have you got this from somewhere, or have you got a coach?
No, I literally looked at, right, how many days a week do I want to run? 5. What do I want to do? I want to do a couple of zone 2s. I want to do a speed work and a long run. That's kind of how I want to do my training.
Right.
So I've written one myself. I put in, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks out from the run, I put in my maximum distance that I wanted to do, which I think is 35 kilometers.
Right.
32 or 35. I put that in. Then I just went backwards from there, reducing it a little bit each week until we get to today. And I've done that myself, just plotting it on. Not to say I know everything about running, or because I don't. Obviously, I don't. But I know what I enjoy doing in running, and if I can plot it myself to a way that I know I'll enjoy it, then I know I'll do it. If it's, I have tried training programs before that are written for me, or I've gotten from a website somewhere, and I just never stick to it. Because it's never doing it how I enjoy it. So I chose not to do that. So yeah, I've got my own little one together. I might even see if I can stick a link to it somewhere so people can see it if they want to.
Yeah.
Not that I'm suggesting follow it, because Muggins ear's written it, and it's very basic. It literally says Tuesday zone 2 5k. Wednesday it just says hill reps or speed work, because I'll decide on the day what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep it that way so it's enjoyable for me, and there's no pressure to say you must do this. You must do this many intervals or whatever else, because no, I'll do how many I feel on a day. And I don't take it easy on myself. If I say to myself, right, you're going to do this, then I'll do at least that. I don't suddenly, I don't know, wimp out of something. Like the other day I did, Kevin Scott mentioned Furnace Bank. It was one of the questions he asked us. Yeah. Well, I did that this week on Wednesday to remind myself how much I hate it.
Yeah.
And I got there, and this is really annoying. Actually, I did a video this week. I've recorded most of my week this week, and I started editing it last night. And the video from the Furnace Bank, I turned up and basically said to the camera that I don't know how much I'm going to do, but in my head I was like, I want to do at least 4 reps of this hill, because it's quite a bugger of a hill. Anyway, I ended up doing 6, so I'm not taking it easy on myself. I'm doing more. But then I'm watching the video back, editing it, and I think I had 12 video clips. I got 4 clips in, and the rest have got no audio. There's just no sound whatsoever. Thank you, GoPro.
That's been a curse, that camera, for you. From the moment I've met you, you've had issues with that camera. The first social we went on, that died halfway through. I think it's time.
And I stopped using it. It's the truth. I'd not used it for a while, but then I started using it again a few weeks ago, and actually enjoy using it. But then I'm having more problems for him, so it's going to get chucked in the drawer again probably. Which is such a shame, because they have really good cameras, really good quality, really good sound is the thing I really like about it. I've got the mod. What's it called? It's called a mod something. But it's basically a housing that it sits in, and it changes the sound as well. And it's really good quality, I think. But you can't rely on it now. If it's just half of my videos didn't have sound, I can't use that now, can I?
You're gonna have to.
But I've got. Go on.
You're gonna have to seriously give it some consideration if you're gonna vlog some of your Enduro 24, because that'd be devastating if you filmed that and it's broke.
No, that will all be done using my other cameras. So I've got 3 cameras that I use all together.
Right.
I've got the GoPro 10 is the one I've got, but I've also got the Insta 360 1X3, which is the the 360 camera.
Yeah.
And I've got the Insta 360 Go, which is the little one you might have seen on my hat.
Yeah.
That's actually quite good as well for holding up and doing things. So I might just have to use those 2 as the truth, because that's so annoying that it did that. And I've seen lots of you go on YouTube and lots of people talking about it, and this is how you fix it, and I don't want to fix it. I want it to not be broken.
The money you pay for these bits of kit you want them to work. They're supposed to
Yeah,
work.
we'll not talk about that because my wife might listen to this, but yeah, we'll not talk about the price. But they're not cheap, you know. But yeah, real bugger. But anyway, going back, the Endure 24 training, yeah, that's now well underway. Enjoying it again, or not say again, I was enjoying it anyway, but enjoying 2 days off a week. It like a year ago, 4 days running was enough.
Yeah.
That 3 days off and 4 days running was enough. Now I'm running 5 days a week. It feels like I'm running part time because I was running every day before.
Yeah, I know
Now
exactly
you're having
what you mean.
that extra 2. Then 2 days isn't a lot, but that 2 days is like I'm really enjoying it. Like today, I've not run a thing today. I was actually going to do a strength and conditioning session today, and work got away with me, and I've just not had time yet. But that 2 days off is made me look at my training now differently. Like, okay, this is cool. There's not so much pressure. You don't have to go every day. Today you can properly relax. If your legs are a little bit stiff or a little bit sore or whatever else, that's cool because you can just sit on your ass for most of the day.
Yeah.
You know, still go for a walk with the dogs and whatever else. But I don't have to go running. So it's nice, and I'm enjoying that part of it again, which is really cool.
And it's weird, but those rest days will massively improve the run days.
Which is part of the reason I want. See, you've done it again. You've reminded me. That's part of the reason I keep looking at this 24:30. Because I was like, when I did Hartlepool, I was on tired legs. I obviously had a niggle.
Yeah.
Well, my legs feel really fresh again now. They're in there. It's in there. I might be able to do it. but see, you've got the little angel, little devil talking to each other. Messing me up. And it changes minute by minute. That's the thing. It's not like, right, this is every other minute. I'm like, no, don't do it. Yeah, go on, just do it. No, don't do it. Go for a run. Go on. So I might do part run tomorrow. We'll find out in the morning.
Yeah, this is the thing as well. I'm like everybody else that listens to this. I don't find out you're doing these things until they go live on YouTube afterwards as well. So it's like then I'll text you and say, "Well done," or "I can't believe you've had another go at
that." But that's one of the things I do though, Scott. It's 9 times out of 10, I don't even know I'm going to do it until I'm going to do it, and that's a bit I enjoy. And this is on another video I did a while ago where I only watched this the other day. Weirdly, I think it's when I got 26 minutes. I got or sub 26 or something like that on a park run. And as I got to the start line, because I even spoke about it, right, today I'm just going to go around and enjoy my run and see what happens. Got to the start line and I was like, nah, we're going for a PB. And made that decision literally as they shout go.
Yeah.
That happens a lot with me, I find. I don't like to make plans.
Yeah. You need a running partner in person on the day that you'll stick your plan with. If you're not, because you wouldn't do a PB if you were supposed to be running with somebody, would you? You wouldn't be like, right, late. I've decided now I'm going to leave you as dust, mate.
No, exactly that.
You need an anchor.
Yeah, I think so.
I do. But I was looking at your Strava post this week and noticed you've been out with the club again. How are you finding that whole world? Because I'm affiliated with a club where it's very informal and I've only been to a couple of sessions with them and I enjoyed it, but it's right across the other side of the region, so I haven't really gone that much and committed to it. There is another club local to me and I'm seriously considering joining. There's a lot of them around my circuit, the parkrun circuit from that club, so I'm giving it some serious thought. But what's your experience been like over the last couple of months, couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's changed everything really. There's a few clubs near me. I got a pick of a few, to be fair, and I won't name the others, but there is another one where I was told, I wouldn't bother going there. You'll not enjoy it, and I was like, why is that? Because they take everything too seriously, and it's all about. And they've got some elite runners. They've had runners there that've gone on to they've been to the Olympics. It's that sort of club.
Nice.
And they take it very serious, and fair play to them. You know that you need that. You need that with those sorts of runners, absolutely. But I'm not one of those sorts of runners, and I never will be. And I'm told that it's just not the most welcoming. I'm sure it is, but I've been told it's not the most welcoming. It's a bit hoity-toity, a bit, it's all about the elites and looking after the elites in the club, and so I avoided that one. And then I got told about this one that I joined, which take their running serious. They've got some serious runners, but it's about community and it's about running together and having fun, doing the training together. And So I joined Asherton Hurst Running Club, AHRC, and I've got nothing but positive things to say about it. If I'm honest, it's massively changed the way I look at clubs. And I would say to anybody, clubs aren't for everyone. I get that. I know a lot of people that run that don't want to join a club, but I wonder if that's because they've got this other type of club in their mind. So it's worth looking into your local club to see what sort of club they're like. There's nothing overhanging me saying you must come to this training, you must do that.
Yeah.
No, you come if you want to. So I go on a Tuesday and a Thursday if I'm available.
Yeah.
I'll go to those, and we have I think it's 4 running groups and a run walk group, and each group is set to a specific speed. So I think I started off, I went to it was 11 to 12 minute miles. I think the one I'm in now was 10 to 11 minute miles, but like yesterday we were doing, I think we averaged 9:45.
I was just going to say, you were shifting. I seen your Strava post there. You definitely weren't doing 11 minute miles yesterday.
No, but the way that it works is there was quite a lot of us on that last night. There must have been, I don't know, 15, 20 people in our group. And you have a run leader at the front, run leader at the back, and they're going at different speeds. So you've got keep up with the faster guy. Then every sort of, I don't know, every kilometre or so, we'll slow up and wait for him to catch up or whatever else, then go again. And that works brilliantly for me. I'm really enjoying it. The whole time you're chatting and having a laugh with all the other people there. It's mostly people I don't know, but that doesn't matter. Everyone just chats and gets on up until the point that we're going up a hill, and then I'm not answering any questions that they're asking me until we get to the top of the hill, because my heart rate goes straight up there.
Join the club.
Yeah, but no, it's changed. It's changed everything. It's changed my whole perception of running clubs, and it's actually, I enjoy those runs. They're my favourite runs now that I'm doing in my training, because, and it is solely because how friendly everybody is.
Yeah.
And nobody cares how old you are, what sex you are, what you look like, how slow you are, and all the groups leave at the same time and come back at around the same sort of time as well. So although we're all running at different speeds, we're also running different distances, but we're out for around the same sort of time. And yesterday, for example, we got back and one of the other groups had got back a little earlier than us, and they'd all started dispersing and going home. They basically stop as you're running past them. They stop and they're clapping and cheering you, and it's just a training run, But there's that sort of community feel about it.
Yeah.
Which is, I love it, and I'm gutted in a way that I didn't do it a long time ago. Rather than to run, and I still enjoy running on my own.
Yeah.
But I enjoy that as well.
I think you've probably just made my decision. I've been umming and ahhing for a while, and you're saying there that that's a highlight of your runs during the week now. For me, it's parkrun because of that community, and I love, I'm talking to strangers and clapping and cheering for people I've never met before, probably might not ever see again, but that whole community and everyone's there for the same purpose of running. I think the natural progression for me now is to do that and to look at the clubs around this area, because it's the same. It's like that moral support when you need it, and it's looking forward to those social runs during the week where you can have a natter about anything and everything while you're out on a run.
And that's exactly what it's like. So the social runs that we've done in Newcastle and Whitley Bay, it's exactly like that. It's exactly what it is, except you can choose different. Well, certainly the club I go to, you can choose different groups depending on how fast you want to run.
Yeah.
So if you want to plod at the back and do the run walk, there's people to do it with you. But if you want to be with the fast guys going at 8 minutes or whatever it is, 8 minute miling, then there's a group there for you as well.
Oh, I might have some news.
Really good.
In the next episode, I might have made the move.
I hope so. I'm actually going to do a video on it, I think. I need to speak to the chairman of the club and sort of see if it's possible for me to do a video at the club, because I've not recorded any of it while I'm at the club, and I'm not going to either. I don't think that's the right thing for me to do. But I do think it'd be nice if I reach out to the club and say, look, I'd like to do a video on why it's important to join a club or consider looking at a club or whatever else, and see if there's something we could do together there. I think that would be really good for people to see.
It's good for the club as well. It's free PR, isn't it, of the benefits of running socially?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, the other things that come with it. So we had because they have a Facebook group, and I think it's is London Marathon the 21st? Sunday the 21st?
Yeah, I think it's the week after Manchester. Yeah.
So one of the sponsors of the London Marathon is the Samaritans.
Right.
And we've got a local lake up by us that I run around occasionally, the QE2. And on the 21st at 10 o'clock, the same day as the London Marathon, the Samaritans are up at this lake, and they reached out to the club to say, look, we're holding kind of like a little event where we just want people to run around the lake. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not like an event. You just turn up, and they're basically trying to raise some money. And they put it out to the club, and there's a load of the club members that are now going to go and support that on that Sunday, and all run around the lake together.
Are you going?
Yeah, 100%.
Nice one.
And I will video that.
Yeah,
that'd be good fun.
Yeah.
But that just shows you, yes, you can go to your training sessions, but there's other things that come out of it as well that you get to do.
Yeah.
Even they're talking about, there's an event coming up in June. It's one of these ones where you get dropped off and you don't know where you are. Kind of you get blindfolded or whatever and dropped off somewhere. There's one of them apparently in Newcastle in June, and the club was saying, "Oh, who wants to do this?" And everyone enters it together and turns up together. And those ones where you can enter as a team, you can do it with the guys from the club, the people at your sort of fitness level or whatever.
That
so
sounds
more
like
can come from it.
That sounds like a sober stag do. To be fair, sounds like good fun.
Exactly. But no, it's been the best move that I've made, I think, since this whole thing began. That's really, and like you said, it is just like going to park run, but I get to go do it twice a week on a night time.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Right, I might have a bit of that myself. Like I say, there's a club close to here that have asked me for fancy joining, and there's no reason not to. Hearing stuff like that, it makes sense. It's just more motivation when I don't want to go on my own and it's freezing outside. It's half the battle if you've got someone to chat to on your route, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's great. Love it. A couple of things I want to talk about as well is I know you posted this in the group, and I remember I did actually like it in the Strava group, but I think I kind of dusted over what it was, because you talked about super halves.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, was it last night or the night before, when you messaged me about it? Super halves. Tell us about super halves.
Super halves. So about 2 months ago, I'd bought a running magazine. I know it's 2024, no one reads paper anymore, but I bought an actual physical magazine, and there's a 2-page spread in there about something called the super halves. So to summarize it really quickly, it's 6 half marathons across some major cities in Europe. And if you enter to do one, you can do them in any order you want. But the minute you finish the first race, the clock starts and you've got 60 months, or 5 years, to complete all 6. And then when you complete the 6th one, you get a super halves medal, which is really unique. And there's only a certain amount of people in the world that have got it right now. I think it's Lisbon, Valencia, Prague, Copenhagen, Cardiff, and Berlin.
Well remembered.
Yeah, well, it's been ingrained in my mind because straight away I thought, I really fancy this. Really fancy this. So looked into it, and all the 2024 races are sold out. But on 2 days ago, Henrik, another one of our runners in the Runners Connect group, he posted on the back of that to say, Scott, just a heads up, Lisbon and Berlin reopen for 2025 today. So within seconds, I was on the Berlin website and I managed to get a place. So
get in.
What I've done, I've signed up for Berlin in April. It's all paid for. I booked the hotel really quickly last night. I was really excited. The half marathons, which for me as a non-elite runner seems a lot more achievable than trying to do the full-blown marathon versions. And I know Berlin, you've got to have something ridiculous like 2:30 to get in anyway, so it's never going to happen.
Right.
But this, for me, is a bit more achievable. And I thought, 5 years, I could easily chip one a year. And I'm going to try and do 2 next year and then do one a year after that. And what you do is on the Super Halves website, you register for free and you get a virtual passport on there. and that number on that passport is unique to your account. These city marathons, they're not booked through the super half, so you have to go directly to the city marathon. So I went to the Berlin Marathon website and booked it. But when you book in, the application asks you for your super half's passport number, so you paste that in there, and then it links back to your super half account. So when I finish this, I'll get a virtual stamp in my passport. Then you collect all 6, do them in any order, and it just sounds like something really cool to do that I thought is more than achievable. If I'm doing marathons now, the halves aren't as scary anymore as they were a year ago, and I'm doing more than halves on my long runs in training for this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it kind of made sense, and it's just something really cool. See a bit of the world, have a few long weekends away somewhere nice, and
100%.
run, you know. So
100%.
That's the plan.
And you know what? I like that. Like you just said there, you talk about the majors. You know, half of those. I know people that have been trying to get to do London Marathon for like 15 years.
Steve,
15 times they've applied.
Steve said that, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, and you just can't get a spot. So you think, okay, well, what else can we do? And that's a cool one. That's a good one. Like you say, and half marathons are fun. They're not as torturous as say a fast marathon. I say fast marathon, fast for us.
Yeah. And Berlin,
the
Berlin half finishes under the Brandenburg Gates, where the full blown marathon finishes as well. So you're doing the same route, really. You're going to see the city, and it's just somewhere I can tick off and say, to my grandkids, I ran in Berlin. You know.
Yeah. Have you been to Berlin before?
No, I've been to Dusseldorf last year. Loved it. Never been to Germany,
Yeah.
and I went to Dusseldorf. I did the parkrun in Dusseldorf when I was there.
Right.
On a lads' weekend away for the football, and I snuck off on the Saturday morning really early and did parkrun and came back, and they were all still hungover.
Berlin's great.
That's the other thing. I checked Berlin, and there's 2 parkruns in Berlin. So my plan is the race is on the Sunday. I'm going to get up on the Saturday and do the Berlin parkrun.
Absolutely. No, Berlin's great. I spent some time there at the end of the 90s, I think it was. Yeah, it would have been end of the 90s. There used to be a thing called Berlin Love Parade. And they would have, basically it'd be like this weekend where it would just be this big, massive dance party that would take over the whole city. They stopped it years ago because it was actually quite dangerous. So when I was there in the 90s, there was 1 million people in the street.
Wow.
If you think where the Brandenburg Gate is, all that road, that was 1 million people there, right? And they have these double-decker buses coming down the street at like 1 mile an hour, maybe slower, just really barely moving. But the double-decker buses have all got DJ booths on them, and every booth, and there must be 20 buses. Honestly, there's so many, and they're all just moving down, and they're all playing different songs, but more or less to the same beat. So as one bus comes past you, that's full of people dancing on it and drinking and smoking, whatever it is they're doing. And it was just absolute carnage. But you can imagine 1 million people in the street. And so it got dangerous. People died from being crushed and things like this. So they ended up taking it away from the city because it was always in Berlin. Then it started touring around Germany, and eventually it phased out, and they called it all off. But that was like a staple to go to Germany and do that in the 90s.
Well,
amazing.
Imagine doing that and then 30 years later going back and running down that street, Freddie. Just saying.
That would be cool.
The offer's there. Cool. The offer's there.
Yeah, and I am considering it. I know you messaged me about it the other day, and I am going to consider it. I need to I know it's a year away, but I need to work things out and make sure that I'm good to go for that. But I do fancy it, actually.
So I've managed to get the hotel booked. It was dirt cheap as well. I'm staying in it's like 8.5 on TripAdvisor. It's in the Ibis in Alexanderplatz, and it's like a mile from the start line. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, check out on the Monday, 200 quid.
That's now, is it?
And the flights aren't available yet because you can only book 11 months in advance. But if I'm looking at the March flights, it's like 65 quid return from Edinburgh or Manchester, and there's 2 flights a day. So if I book like as early as possible next month for less than 300 quid, I'm spending less than Steve spends on running shoes. You know? sorry, Steve.
That's so true. That's so true. But no, that would be good. That would be really good fun. Something to look forward to next year, eh?
Yeah. So news-wise, a lot of other podcasts and YouTube channels have talked about this, and it's been in the news for a week. I thought we best acknowledge the mammoth feat that Russ Cook's achieved, running south to north, the whole of the African continent, which is
the hardest geezer.
The hardest geezer. Like,
yeah,
I can't really put my mind to where that goes to do that, and it makes my run on Sunday look like a fun run. He's an ultra runner by trade, from what I can gather and I've read up on recently. But just like hats off to him for that.
Massively. Didn't he run Asia to the UK as well? Something years ago.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and he's also done like a marathon tour in a car and stuff.
Right.
In Brighton, I think. So yeah, he's
one
his way around.
Yeah, it's one of those. I was aware of him doing this challenge, and I would see it come up on Instagram and stuff occasionally, but I didn't really follow it.
Yeah.
Too closely. But what a phenomenal achievement! No matter who you are and how long you've been running, you can be the best of the best. Just that pure distance, grinding that out every day, day after day, in the heat. The guy had a gun held to his head at one point, I believe.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm coming from a family full of Scottish people that are all ginger and pasty skinned, and that man has got a lot of ginger hair. He shouldn't really be running out in the open in Africa, in my opinion. So hats off to him, and he should have been sponsored by like Factor 60 or something, surely. But yeah,
that's got to be a question somebody's asked him. How much sun cream have you been through?
Yeah, what an achievement! It bears into minimal task my little marathon on Sunday now, doesn't it?
Well, do you know what it is? Different horses for different courses, isn't it? And that guy's an ultra runner. Been doing it. He must have been doing it for some time now to achieve that. Fair play to him.
Proves what the body can do, though, doesn't it? When it's pushed.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll never moan again. So we had some questions at the back end of our mammoth 2-hour podcast last time round, and we ran out of time a little bit. But Peter raised some good questions that I know we said we'd try and pick up on this week. So can I fire these at you, Freddie? If that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
So I know we answered everything else, but there was these ones Peter left us just through the Strava channel we had. I know you'd put out there if anyone wanted to ask us anything. So Peter asked.
Yep.
A bit of advice or a tip that you would give to yourself at the start of your journey.
Oh, at the start of the journey.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go back to the running club thing quickly, because there's probably a couple of things, but that would probably be one of them. I've very much been kind of a lone wolf, if you like, and doing this by myself, off my own back, trying to, YouTubing, how to train and what to do, blah blah blah, and that's worked to a point. But I think being in the club has made it more fun.
Yeah,
and I think that's, to me, that's actually turned out to be quite important, because if I'm enjoying it, then I'll do it. If I'm not, then I won't.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason, again, going back to why I've created my own training program, so I know that I'm going to enjoy it. And that's what I would say is try and find what it is that's going to make you enjoy it. And I would say to anybody that's starting running in particular is, do not expect to go out there and run a 7-minute mile on your first run. I don't care if you only weigh 8 stone and you are whatever else. Don't try and run an 8-minute mile or a 7-minute mile or anything like that on your first run. Slow down. And just as you think you're going too slow, slow down a little bit more. And just enjoy running for what it is. You're not racing anybody. You're not going to win any awards for hurting yourself, for killing yourself, for wearing yourself out and getting yourself so fed up with running and whatever else. You're not going to win anything for doing that.
Yeah.
But you will win lots of awards, and not physical awards, but you'll get lots back from running if you slow down and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to myself. And it took me a while to... I say a while. It probably took me best part of a year to actually know what people meant when they said slow down, because I thought I was going slow, but my heart rate was telling me otherwise.
Yeah.
It's slow down even more. Doesn't matter how easy it feels, just do it, and you'll have more fun.
Yeah.
What about you?
100%. I would tell myself to not give a shit about what other people think. And I mean, like, the time I spent hiding in the garden, in the shed, on the treadmill. and worrying about was my form and posture right when I'm out in the streets. Stop worrying about looking like a proper runner, because it doesn't matter. Nobody gives a toss. The only person that's accountable is yourself. And like, I'd really tried right at the beginning to get out there, even when it was snowing and hailing. I forced myself out there, but I would wait till it was dark so no one could see me.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Like anybody, if I see runners out there now, big, small, large, tall, it doesn't matter. Every time I drive past, I like just a little nod to myself to say, "Nice one, you're doing it." Like hats off to you.
Yeah,
I love seeing it. And I've said to my wife while I'm driving around, like, it's weird. It's like when you're looking to buy a new car, you seem to suddenly spot loads of those cars on the road. You see that model car because you're interested in one. Now I'm a runner. I spot runners everywhere, and I can't help but look when I'm driving past. There's one. Oh, there's
absolutely. Yeah. And you know what's really funny is last night at running club, I said we went through the woods, and as we were coming out of the woods, we were quite spread out because I mentioned the front and back runner go at different speeds, and we were quite spread out. And as we were coming to the edge of the woods, there was a group of kids. I say kids, they were anywhere from sort of 14 to 17. And there was about 20 of them, boys and girls. And as we started running, because I was in the front group, they started running with us, and they were asking us loads of questions like, "Oh, you a running club? How far do you run? Blah blah blah." And it was a bit like, "Are you taking the piss? Like, are you actually taking the piss out of us? Is that what?" And that felt like what they were doing was taking the piss out of us. So we decided to stop and let everybody else in the group catch up. So at least there's 20 kids, most of the people in the group, I'm really sorry if this sounds sexist, most of the group were women.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's everybody get closed up. So we're all together again, and we'll do this bit together. And that's what we did. And these kids, it felt like they were taking the piss out of us. But then whilst we were stood there, probably for 4, 5, 6 minutes, they were actually asking us questions. And I was like, okay. And they were actually not taking the mickey out of us at all. There was some genuine interest in there.
Yeah.
And when people were talking and answering their questions, you could see that we were getting a genuine reaction back from them. And that really painted a picture to me that, like what you just said there, is most people aren't going to take the piss out of you.
Yeah.
They couldn't, they either don't care or they're impressed by what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I saw that last night with all these kids, because at one point, I remember saying to one of the guys, like, I can barely like my own kids. I can't stand other people's, and all these kids turned up, and with some of them being, I don't want to label them because it'd be the wrong thing to do, but some of them looked like they might be a bit of trouble, But that says more about me than it does about them, because I judged them, and actually they were all really nice people, really nice young people. So it was actually quite nice to see.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my note to self, if I started again, would be, don't care, just get on with my plan. I'd probably be 3 or 4 months further down the line than I am now, standard-wise. But, yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing. Right, so Peter's next question was, if money was no object, which running shoe would you buy and own, and why?
Damn you, Peter. Do you know why I'll struggle to answer this one? But the reason I struggle to answer it is, I don't know how to say this without. I'm not trying to say anything about myself other than the fact that there isn't a pair of trainers that you could buy in a shop that I couldn't buy. I'm not saying I'm loaded, but if I wanted some, that even if it took saving up, there's not a pair that I couldn't afford to buy with a bit of saving up or whatever else. So it's never been about not being able to buy these trainers, but I just don't want to. So money no object. It would be like, unless they've got jet engines in them, I don't care how good they are. I'm not spending that much money on them.
Yeah. So I made a purchase this week after talking to Steve 2 weeks ago.
You did. Yeah.
I bought the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pros. The RRP is 200 quid, and I was balking at that, but I managed to get them from a massively discounted price from Sports Pursuit. And when I look back, I'd actually bought trainers, like regular, not running shoes, but I bought them during COVID from there. So I still had an account. and I got them for 88 quid in the sale.
Oh, can't argue with that.
And it's because I've discovered the Rebellion Pro 2 has just launched. So they're all over the internet now, but they look identical. And these were out a year ago. And when I've YouTubed it, the running channel reviewed them, 4D reviewed them. They're supposed to be brilliant for speed work. Yeah. So that's probably the shoe I would buy. And Peter, I've already bought. So I'll let you know in the next one what they're like.
And that's the way to do it, right? That's the way to do it, because you've now bought those actually a bargain price.
Yeah,
a £200 shoe at a bargain price. You can't complain with it. There is a bit of me, if I'm really honest. There is a bit of me, and I've been thinking about this since we spoke to Steve. There is a bit of me that wants to go out there and spend £300 on a pair of shoes, just so I can come on here and say, "See, it wasn't worth it." You know,
I run a 23.30.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Is if I do it then I'm stuck buying £300 pairs of shoes because I see how good they are, and I don't want to. I don't want to, you know.
So
but I am contemplating it.
I mean, 88 quid still a lot of money, and it's. I would never have paid the full price, but I just thought for that price I can't not. And my mates were asking me like, "You're going to run them on Sunday in the marathon?" I was like, "Don't be silly, not a chance."
No,
I am running in my tried and tested trainers, my tried and tested kit. There's nothing new coming with me to that race. But after next week, I'm going to take them out and see what happens and see how they feel. They're a very unique looking shoe. If anyone wants to Google it and have a look, they're not shy. But they're the brightest colour shoes I've ever bought.
I did a similar thing, you know. I did a similar thing. I've got a couple of pairs of carbon shoes now, and the first ones I bought were the Puma. I think they're called Puma Deviate Nitro 2, something like that. I was looking
at them, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I did, though, is I waited until they were a year old, and I think I was the same. I think I paid sub £90 for that. And again, they were, you know, knocking on £200 when they came out.
Yeah,
so that's the way to do it.
Unless you're 40 and have a different pair every day of the week, because he's probably getting sent that many to review. I think these are.
I wonder about that. You know, I wonder how good or bad is that for your feet to continuously change shoes.
And it does baffle me a bit, because
if
you're out 4 or 5 times a week in 4 or 5 different pairs of trainers, and I mean like wear them once and then they go on the shelf or he gives them away. That's got to affect your form and your gait and your
or does it make you stronger because you are doing different things all the time? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Just I would assume that would be difficult for your feet to get used to it.
I could have asked him tomorrow if I'd have set off earlier for Manchester.
Yeah, we'd get up early.
Right, Peter's another question from Peter was your running watch choice. Now, mine wasn't a choice. Mine was, I've just always been an Apple fanboy, so I've had Apple Watches, and then when my running started to get a bit more serious, I invested in the Apple Watch Ultra, and I love it, I'll be honest. It does everything I want.
Great watch.
I absolutely love it, and it's all bells and whistles, and you can do everything you can do without the phone, which is good, because I've always had to use the phone, but I'll be honest, next time round when this does eventually die, I'll probably look at a dedicated running watch. The Garmin range seems to be the big player in the running circles I'm in.
Yeah, I would tell a similar story to that, but maybe I'm at your next year point, if you like. So I started with the Apple Watch, and I'm an Apple fanboy. I'm using a Mac right now, and I loved my Apple Watch. And there was one simple decision that I had to make, which is why I moved away from it. Otherwise, I'd still be running with it now, is the truth. It was Endure 24. I wanted a watch where the battery would last for 24 hours whilst on GPS. You know, where an Apple Watch will last 24 hours, but not whilst it's doing GPS.
As well, if you're getting text messages as well during the day, you've got no chance. You're not getting 24 hours. No way.
No, and that was the sole reason, if I'm really honest, that I went for the watch I went for. And I've got the Garmin Epix 2, which is a fantastic watch. And the main reason I got it was because it's got such a good battery. I think GPS, while GPS is turned on, is something like 30 hours. You know,
wow.
which is amazing. I mean, I can charge this, and if I'm not running, it will last me a week or two. I don't know. It will last me ages. I've never tried it, but it will last a long time. But I can go on to run, press start, and it will run for 30 hours. You know, and that's the reason I bought it.
Yeah.
Was it the right watch to buy for me? it's more than I need. It does way more than I need it to do. I use a really small portion of it, but to get the battery life that I wanted, I had to go for something more expensive. It was just, and I genuinely bought it for that one event. I bought it to last me that 24 hours, which is ridiculous, but I've worn it every day since.
It's getting used for its purpose.
It absolutely is.
That's how I
to be
justify
honest,
it.
yeah, my Apple Watch hasn't been charged up for probably 6 months plus.
Yeah.
You know, I just it's sat in a drawer somewhere, unfortunately.
Mm.
But the Epix 2, it's a great watch. Like I say, it's got amazing battery. It's got mapping on there, which I've used once, I think. So I can put a GPX file into it and then follow the map. But if I'm really honest, 9 times out of 10, I've got my phone in my pocket.
Yeah.
So that's easier to read a map. So I do that. There's lots of it on here that I don't use, but I'm going to keep it until it doesn't work, I guess. It's great. And I wear the Garmin. What's the Garmin heart rate monitor? The HRM Pro, the white one. I wear that, which syncs up to this brilliantly. The battery on that is crazy good, crazy good. I used to use the what was it called? I've got a turbo trainer. It's the company that make the turbo trainer. It will come to me in a minute. Anyway, whoever makes the turbo trainer, I totally forgot. They also do heart rate monitors, and I bought their heart rate monitor, and I was using that when I was on my turbo, and then I started using that when I was running as well. Takes the same battery as my Garmin, but it wouldn't last more than 2 weeks, if that. It was so bad, the battery. So I bought the Garmin one, and I reckon I've had this heart rate monitor strap. Well, I bought it last summer. I haven't changed the battery yet, and I wear it on every run. You know, and I've literally not changed the battery in it yet.
That's like the Amazon Kindle. I can't kill mine. It just lasts for it. Just goes and goes and goes. I never really need to recharge that thing.
Yeah, I need to have a look who my turbo trainer's made by. I totally forget now.
You're not on about the virtual running app thing, Zwift, are you?
Yeah. Wahoo, that's it. I've got the Wahoo kicker. Yeah.
That was another thing I discovered. I'm looking there because my phone's there, but I discovered that when I was hiding when I first started running the virtual running stuff. So I used to set that up on the treadmill and do virtual runs.
Well, I've still got my Zwift account. I haven't been cycling for a while, mostly because my parents moved beginning of this year, and they used my garage as storage. I've only just now been able to get back into my garage.
Right.
So I'm going to start my subscription up again, but I cancelled it. But no, I was using it, but I still use it now. I've got a walk-in treadmill at my desk.
Yeah.
My desk goes up and down. So when I want to, I'll raise my desk up, and I've got a walk-in treadmill, which I can link onto Zwift.
Yeah.
And then I can see how far I've gone with the work. Like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I did 11 or 12 kilometers in my working, just while I'm stood working, you know, which I found really
in your jeans, I hope.
I've actually started work. You know, it's quite often now I'll be in a meeting I'll be in a meeting on a video call or whatever with a shirt on and all this and a pair of shorts underneath because you can't see.
And now you just told
so
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you stand up,
exactly
please, Freddie? We just need you to stand up a bit.
Yeah. But no, that's been a game changer for me, that putting a walking treadmill under my desk. It's been an absolute game changer.
I think my sister was on that video.
Active.
The lady with the glasses on, she's got one. And if she ever comes on the podcast, because she has threatened to do it, ask her about that, because she only got it a few months ago, and she tried to use it while she was concentrating on something, and she had a bit of an incident.
I have found, especially if I'm deep in concentration on work on my computer, if I put my hands on the desk while I'm walking, I tend to stay in a straight line. As soon as I take my hands off, then you do veer to the side.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Well, I think she more than veered, put it that way.
Brilliant.
So there was one more from Peter, and it was just, I think we've touched on it already. It was what's Scott's goals for the Manchester Marathon. Again, like I've said earlier on, just sub 4 would be amazing. But just
sub 3:31 would be amazing.
Yeah, I'll let you break that to Big Ray. Yeah, maybe not this year, but if I get this out of the way and I get another marathon booked in, then we'll see. Without a hindered me during the training plan. Anyway, so that was it from Peter. I threw a couple of questions down that were just, when your brain just dumps these things in the middle of the night and you think, oh, I'm going to ask Freddie that. So if you had to endorse one aspect of becoming a runner to somebody who's not a runner, who's never ran before, what would that be, that one bit of advice? Like, I know we kind of touched on it with saying, what would you tell yourself at the beginning? But knowing everything you know now and you're in the club, if you were listening to someone thinking about starting running, what would you say? And this has come about because I had a conversation. I bumped into a guy I know he's a friend of mine, but he's been listening to this. He wasn't a runner, and because he's been listening to this, he's started running, and he's at the point now where he's really wanting to duck under 29 minutes for his 5K. He's not interested in doing any competitions or running clubs.
No.
Not even, he doesn't have the time for park run. But I bumped into him and he was really complimentary about this, and he said it's listening to people talk about running has been his motivator, and realizing that we're just normal people. He thought he'd give it a go, and he's got into it. He's got the bug, and it made me think, like, if you could just endorse, if you could bottle that and sell that, the world would all be a lot healthier, wouldn't it? So, what would you do? What would you say or do to endorse why someone should run?
I mean, I mentioned earlier about having. I think it was before we came online. Actually, I've had a long week this week, work-wise, and I have the odd day where I will finish my working day pretty stressed, actually, and feeling pretty. I want to say down, but kind of, feeling a bit like kind of overwhelmed with what's happened through the day and how much has gone on, and so I do get quite a lot of stress on my shoulders. Without going into my job too much, I work for a company that is based overseas. I represent them in the UK. I am the only person that works for them directly in the UK, and you feel the weight of that sometimes, right? And so at the end of the day, when I go out for a run, for that 30 minutes or whatever that I'm running, all of that work is not being thought about.
Yeah.
And that takes no effort to not think about it. It just happens. And then when I get back home afterwards, I remain things will start to drip back in again, and you're thinking about this, that, and the other. But I've had that 30 minutes where I'm like, right, I feel like I've let off all that steam.
Headspace.
I've got it all back into me again. I'm all good again, and I come home and the stress levels are down, which makes me. I wouldn't ever say that I was an aggressive person or someone that's hot-headed or not nice to be around. I'm not that sort of person, but I definitely think it makes me a nicer person to be around.
Yeah.
Once I've got back.
Yeah.
So I think that alone, that one thing, it's just for your mental well-being. It does it fix it? I think it probably does. It makes me feel great. It makes me forget my stresses and worries and blah blah blah. So for that, I would say run, and it makes me happy. Is the truth. Even on a good day where I'll go out, and I don't mean I come back and I feel great. Whilst I'm doing it, I feel good. I feel happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I even catch myself out sometimes when I'm editing my videos, and I'm like, what am I smiling at? Nothing was happening there to make me smile, but I'm just genuinely happy.
Yeah.
And I can see it in my face when I'm watching it back.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. For me, it just makes me a happier, more relaxed person and with a clear head.
I think you've kind of stole my answer to this as well.
Sorry, mate.
No, it's absolutely fine. But I had a very, very similar conversation the other day, and I was saying that it's a hard sell to a non-runner because it looks like hard work, and half the time you're sweating or you're aching or you come back and you're hobbling. But that high you get from being out there and running, it's a weird way to describe it. It's not pain, but at the same time, it looks like pain. But it's like a high, and the best way to describe it is it's like a high you get, and it's so enjoyable, and you're smiling inside, and it's until you try it. And when you first go out there and it is hard and you're thinking there's nothing enjoyable about this at all, but it soon changes, and it suddenly one day you'll go out and you'll be running and you think bloody hell, I'm back already. And you reflect on the run and you think, oh my God, that was brilliant. Like, I want to go again. I don't think there's another feeling like it. And I've played football all my life, and I've played in teams that were quite successful, and it's not the same. It's really not the same. You can't. It's apples and oranges, you know.
Yeah, and what I was going to say then. Oh, it's just as soon as I started talking, it jumped out my mouth. No, it's gone. I had something to say, and it's jumped straight out of my mouth and disappeared.
It's that mental clarity that you need to go out for a run.
That's what it is. Oh, that was it. I also find that I have to try not to get carried away with myself, because you're right. Like you go out on a run sometimes, and you think, oh, where did that go? That was 5K in 32 minutes.
Yeah.
In zone 2 or whatever, and it just seemed to have gone nowhere.
Yeah.
So I sometimes get the urge to, oh, should we go a bit further? And the answer to that's no. You don't need to. You know, just go home and do enough, because actually, you start trying to do too much all the time, you're going to ruin it for yourself.
Here's an ad hoc question off the back of that. Then, do you round up when you're running? I know loads of people that do. We're all psychopaths. Everybody rounds up.
I've got a Ring doorbell, and there will be videos on there where I'm doing loops around the front of my house. Got to get it round up. Yeah, I do that, but I will say that I won't round up if it's like I get back and it's at 5.17. Then it's at 5.17. But if it's at 4.98, then it's getting round up. You know,
I did a 14-mile trail run across North Yorkshire Moors before the Great North Run last year, and we got to a little town called Staithes, and there was a little pub there, and everyone collapsed outside it. And it was like 13.86. And they all ordered drinks. This is the first long run I'd done. They all ordered drinks, put them on the table outside, glorious day, and then they all got up and ran to the end of the street and back to round it up to 14. And I was like, what is going on? And from that point on, I understood now why people do it.
Yeah. Oh, and do you know what was really funny last night? I mentioned when we went through the woods and we come out and all them kids were there, and we all waited for everyone to bunch up again. I believe I was the only one that didn't pause his watch.
I've stopped pausing now because of you. I'm guilt tripped every time I stop. I'm thinking, no, don't do it.
Everyone was pausing their watch. I can understand why they do it, but yeah.
What about like impulse buys and stuff? Changing the subject, and I know your taste in music is somewhat questionable, but what does it sound like in the new headphones?
Oh, well, so first you say questionable. It's 2-0 to me, so it's not that questionable. I'm impressed, mate. The Shox Open Run headphones. I'm actually quite impressed by them. Yeah, I thought I found a fault with them. So I was out running the other night. I don't know if you had the storm the other night with all the
we did.
And whatever. We actually got badly flooded out up here. We had road closures all over the place from the floods.
I've seen pictures of is it the A1? Where it could it was really bad. Yeah.
Well, even the local, because we live near a river, and the local bridge was closed off and everything. You couldn't get across the river. It was really bad anyway. But that night time is when I went to Newbick by the Sea for a run, and it cleared up quite well. But I still put my raincoat on because I thought it's been raining all day. It's probably, and it didn't rain again. But I'm running along thinking, listening to my music, which sounded great. We didn't get sent these headphones, by the way. Both Scott and I bought these headphones. This is not an advert for them. But I'm running along, and my hood blew up, and and I could feel it touch the headphones. I thought, actually, let me just put my hood on properly to see what happens. Because I thought this is going to be the fault, because they're not individual earpods, and they've got the bit that goes around the back. The hood's going to push against that, and it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'm going to do this, and I put my hood up, and I thought, oh, you bugger, I can't even feel it. I thought it would push against it, but it didn't. I don't know if it was just I was lucky with the type of hood that I've got, but
it's really flexible, isn't it? The big guy in the back, so it's like a rubber. So I wear a cap all the time when I'm running, and I thought it was going to be the same, like pulling down, and it would push the buds, the whatever they're called, because they have to sit on the bone there.
Yeah.
When the music's on, it's really clear. It's hard to explain until you try them out, but you can hear your music perfectly. But if you slide them forward slightly, so they're not on the bone, It's almost like you're listening to music underwater. It's dead muffled.
I've not tried that.
It's just because they've got to sit. There's a specific bone on the ear, just in front of the ear, that the vibrations of the music hits that, and obviously it sounds like it's in your lug. But if you come off that, they sound really muffled. However, and I thought, not going to work with the cap on, but no, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
There was enough play in the flex to readjust them slightly, so they were still on comfortably. And the fact that you can hear everything around you, so you're running through streets and towns and stuff, and you need to stop. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Honestly, if I'm being really honest, I mean, through the YouTube channel, I've had, I don't know, half a dozen or maybe less headphones sent to me. All of them sounded great, looked great, worked really well. All of them broke after a short while, though. I've got a pair of Power Beats that I bought a couple of years ago, which don't now last. One of the ears doesn't last more than 30 minutes. I've got the the AirPod Pros from Apple. I've got those, which are great. To be fair, they're good headphones, but these are different. These are different. I mean, even with the Apple ones, where you can have the transparency mode, it's not as good as having it where it's bone conduction, so you've got your ears open. It's not as good as that. I don't now see a reason for me to even try another headphone. Is the truth? They're bloody good, and I think I paid £93. All in all, which is not bad.
I think I paid about the same. I think I got them in an Easter deal. Yeah. But, the UK Athletics endorsed as well, so you can use them, officially use them in races.
Exactly.
For normal runners like us, I dare say the Kenyan guys at the front of the pack ain't going to be wearing them when they're trying to bust 2-hour marathons. But I just thought they were a really good piece of kit, and I've seen them loads at the park runs. Everybody wears them, and I thought it's a fad. But I understand it now. The penny dropped, and I thought, these are useful. The other thing I haven't tried, I don't know if you've tried it yet. I'm a nightmare for talking to Siri while I'm out running and switching playlists and stuff on my music.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can actually activate your Siri or your Samsung equivalent. I don't know if you have to hold.
No, I've not tried. I must admit, I normally, when I've got my running vest on, I've got the Salomon running vest, I normally have my left-hand pocket, my phone will sit in there.
All right.
And I can just talk to it.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
But I will be honest, I'll only do that if I want to like phone somebody or something like that, because I tend to be select a playlist, away you go. When the playlist is finished, it tends to play music that's just like that anyway, and I don't touch it. Really.
You just reminded me. I went out on Thursday last week for a run, and I'm running with the AirPods in, and I says to Siri, pause, and it called my boss. Didn't pause the music. It's listening to me now. It's scary. My boss answered, and there's me, heavy breathing down the phone. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I'm out on a run. I didn't mean to ring you.
Oops.
So that was an awkward conversation. But other than that, got not much else to report. It's been focused really on getting through Sunday in one piece. So obviously, next time we meet, we should have a particular guest if everything goes to plan. Should be a good one.
You should have a nice medal around your neck.
And I'll be I will. Yeah, definitely will.
No, you're right. We have got quite an exciting guest in the pipe work, which is cool. I will not say a thing about who it is and what they're up to, but I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully we can pull it off and have a real good chat. And actually, that person's going to give us a total different insight to what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
From a different angle in more than one way. So I'm excited to get that one.
Me too. Hopefully. Me too. It'll be a brilliant conversation to have. I think it'll surprise a few. I think. Anyway, so you have a think on Berlin. Sounds so like professional runner, doesn't it? Talk to me about Berlin. But the offer's there if you fancy that, and we would make a good vlog, I think. So see if you can do it, and if you do that, then I'm really going to have to do Endure 24, aren't I? Because
you have to do Endure 24 whether or not I go to Berlin. You've already committed.
We've got quite a squad building up actually on the Runners Connect group. There's a few now that have come out of the woodwork and said they fancy it. So it should be a good turnout. It should be.
Yeah, I think so too. Steve said he'll do it. I think Jamie's now said he's going to come up and do it. That'll be an epic weekend. We'll have to really go for it that weekend. But no, listen, Scott, it's been a pleasure as always, mate. This weekend, enjoy it. I hope it goes well, mate.
I will.
Really wish you the best of luck. I'll be tracking you all the way.
Thank you.
Hopefully Siri will read out your text messages to you, because I'll probably drop you a couple as you're running, and let you know how I'm sat with my feet up or whatever, you know.
Funny that I've had that at work today. A lot of people saying well done, but we'll be thinking of you when we're making a brew on Sunday afternoon and thinking about the roast dinner. And I'm like, yeah, cheers, thanks.
Well, that says more about them than it does about you. So no, genuinely, mate, I hope it goes really well for you. I'm excited.
Thank you.
And really wish you all the luck in the world.
Cheers. Thank you. And we shall we'll sign this one off, and we'll be back in roughly 2 weeks, give or take a day or two. But enjoyed this.
Sounds good. Nice one. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll speak to you in a couple of weeks. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.